We have another time skip, and the king has another son, but thankfully this one actually survived. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment for another House of the Dragon review. Season 1, Episode 3. This one is called Second of His Name, and the focus is on King Viserys' new son, Aegon, who he had with his queen wife, Alicent Hightower, and once again the focus seems to be on who is going to be the heir to the throne, and that seems to be what the first 3 episodes have been about. So episode 1, obviously we have Daemon, who was supposed to be the heir, and then he got replaced by Rhaenyra. And then in episode 2 we had King Viserys debating which woman he was going to marry, which woman he was going to have more kids with and continue his legacy, continue his bloodline with. And then in episode 3, the plot line seems to be, will the king's new son replace his daughter as the heir to the throne? So I feel like we haven't really moved very much here in 3 episodes. Yes, it's 3 different episodes, it's 3 different characters, and it's 3 different positions, I guess, up for grabs, but it kind of feels like the same theme. Who is going to be next in line? Who's going to be the successor? And I think we need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, we do, and I feel like this show's just getting stuck in the mud with woke tendencies. Because see, realistically, right, this should be, right, you, daughter, you'll be queen unless I've got a son. But see, when I've got a son, then you go behind him in the list. That's what it should be, until you have kids of your own. That's what it should be. But I just think because this show's come out in 2022, the 2020s, it just comes across as so much more woke than Game of Thrones. And because we're watching both at the same time, it's so much more noticeable.
I totally agree it's more woke than Game of Thrones, but I'm not necessarily sure that the whole woman not being able to be queen unless if there's a male there, I'm not sure if that's true, because in the first episode, in the prologue, it was, when it was up for debate who was going to be the next leader, it was between a man and a woman. And it was almost like, you know, it was an option that the woman could have been selected before King Viserys took up that position.
In the dialogue, they kind of made it to be that she wasn't a serious option. It was always going to be Viserys.
Well, in my opinion, you're either a serious option or not an option at all. If I get what you're saying, no, but I've no issue with Rhaenyra being the heir, and I don't think she should lose that just because King Viserys has had a son born to him, but everyone else seems to believe that his son will just automatically become the new heir.
There's a lot of selfish motivation in there. You've got the Hightowers who obviously want one of their own in there.
Yeah, Otto Hightower, he is obviously the grandson of King Viserys' new son, Aegon, so he wants his grandson to be obviously he wants his grandson to be the king because that gives him more power. So yeah, that makes sense, but I just feel like the theme of the 3 episodes so far has pretty much been, who's it going to be, A or B? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And I don't think Rhaenyra's making a strong case, man. She's just moping around. Oh, I don't want to get married to this guy. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's not...
I don't want a man. I don't need no man. And also it's like...
No, but I don't get the vibes that she even wants to be queen.
Well, I think she does, but she just doesn't want to really marry somebody, but she thinks she's getting replaced. But no, for me, it's just, I don't know, it's just too, not predictable, but it's like, I think we need a little bit more. It's like, you can't...
Game of Thrones, you've got a lot of things going on, a lot of places, a lot of battles, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. You're right, in this, it's very cookie cutter, man. And the fact that you know, there's just these, like, going to be these time skips after time skips with like 3 different actors as well and actresses. I don't know, I think that's all just a mess. It just seems very neat.
It's just like in-house battles. There's no like conflict or it's little squabbles between the houses.
It doesn't help though that the king is pathetic and he should just say it's my way and that's it.
Also, yeah, King Viserys has been spoken down to by so many people in the opening 3 episodes. Look, and I know that in Game of Thrones, Robert Baratheon, people kind of thought he was a joke, but no one told him that to his face.
Yes. Also with Robert, right, it's not like there wasn't a big deal about who's going to be his heir. It feels like with this Viserys guys, he's on the road out. He's going to die tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, shouldn't he be saying, I'm going to rule for the next, I don't know how long? The heir shouldn't be that important, but that seems to be all we're focusing on. So, right, we went from Daemon being the heir to Rhaenyra. Then we got who's going to be the queen. Is it going to be the underage girl, or is it going to be the very underage girl? And I mean, I guess, I guess Viserys did the honourable thing, and he picked the slightly older underage woman. I mean, I guess.
What a man! What a man! Well, I mean, I guess there's no real proof that Queen Alicent was underage.
Well, his daughter's 14, and they're supposed to be the same age.
Ooh.
In episode 2, so. But I guess that's better than whatever the other girl was, 11, 12.
We don't know the facts, but I think she looked a wee bit older than her.
That's because the actress.
I know, yeah.
Daenerys is supposed to be 13 in Game of Thrones.
Is she?
But they've moved, in the book she was 13, but they moved her up to 16 in season 1. So she was 16 when Big Khal Drogo was taking her into his tent.
Take a seat, Khal Drogo.
Anyway, right, I think we spoke too much about all this stuff. Let's actually get into the episode. So we get a 3-year time skip. Lord Corlys and Prince Daemon, they created some sort of partnership last time, so they are now battling the Crabfeeder and his forces in the Stepstones without the Iron Throne support. I never really felt like this Crabfeeder was a serious threat.
A 3-year battle worth it.
Yeah, it just feels like some guy that looks like scabs. Anyway, so we have that. King Viserys plans a great hunt to celebrate his and his wife's, Alicent's son's, Aegon's 2nd birthday. Rhaenyra resents her father because she feels that he is putting all his attention towards Aegon and that she's now been pushed to the side because she's a girl, her mother's dead, she believes that her father's got this new family now and she's just not being cared for, or she's like being forgotten about essentially. Turns out Rhaenyra is now 17, so yeah, that would make her 14 in the first episode. So yeah, the big focus for her standpoint is that she needs to marry to form a strong alliance and protect her lineage. That's what King Viserys keeps telling her, but she's like, I don't want a man. I got strong feminist vibes here in this. And it's like, this would have just been the thing, right? Being a woman or being a man, it doesn't matter, because King Viserys says he had to marry when he didn't want to. Even when he remarried Alicent Hightower, he didn't want to do it. It was everyone saying, no, you need to remarry, you need to support, strengthen the throne. He didn't want to do it, and he did.
Yeah.
So why should Rhaenyra be any different? Why should she not need to marry? But yeah, it did give me very strong...
And he's not forcing her to marry, like, literally. I know he said, like, in this episode, Jason Lannister, right? But then he's like, you can marry who you want. She's still being a little bitch.
Yeah, I could understand it if Viserys was trying to marry her off to someone that was really horrible.
Aye.
Or someone that was like 40 years older than her.
It's the way of life in these times, man. No, it is forced, man. It's forcing current feminist stuff into our throat.
And this is like, what, 100 years, 200 years before Game of Thrones?
Exactly, so, come on.
So you'd expect this to be even more, like, outdated than Game of Thrones is. But the wokeness, man, it definitely creeps in. So Rhaenyra runs off, not happy. She gets chased by the new night guard, Cole, who seems like an okay character, but...
I mean, let's just wrap that up. He chases her, we should go back, my princess.
Saves her from a boar.
Yep, and that's it. And they return, a bit more blood on them.
Yeah, that is pretty much...
What I would say is, so obviously there's a bit of pressure here. We need to regain the Stepstones, but obviously the Iron Throne isn't supporting it, but now they're supporting it. So, Big Viserys sends Daemon a letter. Daemon receives this letter, and it's basically, then you hear it being read out in Viserys' voice, I'm finally giving you that support, big man. And then he decides to beat up one of the king's men, and then he just goes on the solo mission to take on the crab feeders. And it's like, really? This has took you 3 years to really get nowhere, and all of a sudden he's wiping out about 50 of them at a time?
Yeah, this annoyed me. So Daemon is annoyed that the Iron Throne are now going to give their support, and pretty much just to, one-up his brother and make it look like, here, I never needed your help, he decides to bait himself in an ambush to the Crabfeeder, and he literally ends this 3-year war by almost single-handedly taking them down. I mean, he ran into enemy territory, like, dodged a shitload of bullets, bows, bow and arrows, and then defeats the Crab Eater after taking down like 50 guys. It just wasn't very believable. Maybe if it was like Lord of the Rings movie style, it would be a bit more like of an action scene, but Game of Thrones is supposed to be realistic. House of Dragons is supposed to be realistic. One guy simply doesn't just evade like hundreds of bows and arrows and then takes down 50 guys without getting cut down himself.
Yeah.
Jaime Lannister's considered the greatest of all time, and I mean, he got 10 people down before he got captured. Yet Daemon just takes
Yeah,
down.
but what's crucial there, they're trying to capture him, not kill him. With this guy, they were trying to kill him. They were trying to kill Daemon. It's not like they were trying to capture him. I thought this was... I mean, it's horrible, the right word. I mean, I would go... I mean, it's so... The character's just overprotected already. 3 episodes in, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's
see if he wants to go in the enemy territory and kill like 10, like Jaime Lannister, right? Then retreat. I can accept that till his dragon comes in.
It's just plot. It's plot holes. Like they literally ended a 3-year war in 3 minutes just so Daemon could be like, fuck you, brother. I didn't need your support.
Yeah, you've got Viserys who's the king being spoken down to, right?
By everybody.
He's too scared to do anything. Oh, my heir, I need an heir, and then this guy's fucking killing 50 people at a time.
Now there was one guy that I guess he pushed back on. They just automatically believed that he was going to name his son the heir, and he said that's not going to happen. And then he comforted his daughter and says that she remains the heir and she can choose whoever she wants to marry. So that's pretty much what we got out of this episode. Rhaenyra is still the heir to the throne. Daemon is a little bitch and didn't want support for the throne, so decided to end a 3-year war in 3 minutes. And I believe there may be a few people that are not going to be happy with the king's decision to choose his daughter Rhaenyra over his newborn son Aegon, and maybe that's going to be once again the plot line in episode 4.
I mean, it probably will be. I just don't get this. We need something fresh. But I've just got a feeling with the time skips that's going to continuously happen. It's going to be the same thing, but I'm just a bit older. But we're going to get to a point where Viserys is old, and it's like, oh, this guy actually is done this time.
We actually do need a new heir. We need it right now. Yeah. Anyway, this episode wasn't a breath of fresh air, that's for sure. What will I give it out of 10? I do feel like every episode has got a little bit worse. Now, I gave the last episode a 6. I don't know if I want to say this one was a 5, but you know what? I'll give it a 6, but it's a weaker 6 than the Rogue Prince for sure.
I'll give it a 5. I didn't like the Daemon scene. Unrealistic for me.
Yeah, actually, it was very unrealistic.
Like we're talking about, he's getting sprayed upon by like 100 archers, and I think he got hit at the end, and then he fell, and then that's when the dragons killed them all. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this would be like Ned, right? Trying to take down the the Kingsguard and Joffrey, but instead of going to the City Watch for the 2,000 men, he's like, nah, fuck that, Littlefinger, I don't need them. Ned just storms in, takes down the Hound, takes down the old guy, Selmy Barristan, just slices them all down and then kills Joffrey.
See if this is like the last episode, right, of the show, and they want to send this guy out with a bang. I can get it, but it's episode 3 of season 1. There's no need for this.
If Daemon's if he's capable of doing this, then why does he need any support? Why doesn't he just go and take the Iron Throne himself?
Exactly.
Anyway, that's it, guys. 5.5.
Now, what is the age gap though between Viserys and Daemon?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
I don't think Viserys could do this.
Viserys can barely fucking get up off his seat.
Is he letting maggots eat his baby finger, man?
Anyway, that's it, guys. 5.5 out of 10. Hopefully next episode gets better. We just need a little bit more than who's it going to be. Is it going to be this person or that person? Is it going to be A or B? Is it going to be 1 or 2? I think we need a bit more conflict. Pretty much everything has just been inner conflict, and it's not even inner conflict. It's literally just choices so far, and it's like, right, okay, where's the serious threat? You know, where's the storyline? Where's the direction?
It's funny though.
Where's
it's
this
like
going?
Episode 2 ends with those two like, we're going to bring down Viserys. Let's partner up. And 3 years later, they've done nothing.
Aye. Anyway, guys, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.